We got some big juicy ones back in there that the birds haven't got to yet. This is why we do it, because they are so juicy and sweet. Welcome back to the garden. Now we've had a little bit of heat the last couple days. It's not nearly as bad today. It's still 97 degrees. But I want to show you one of the benefits of the deep mulch. We're going to take its temperature. Then we're going to look at carrots, what we planted the other day, and then what we planted in December. We also have to plant some sweet potatoes. So last day of June, it's Friday. What do we do at my house on Fridays? We plant. So come on, let's plant. We haven't really looked at our Memorial Day sweet potato patch, but it's filling in nicely.
We just planted this late June zucchini and crookneck squash as a way to battle the squash bugs. They came up really fast, and even with the light little layer of mulch on here, I mean, you can see that soil is good and damp. That's what the deep mulch does for you.
But it's Friday and we need to plant something, and I found 2 sweet potato slips that need a spot to go in the ground. And this patch is growing pretty good. I know an area that's open. Let's go over there and get some sweet potatoes in the ground. This is just outside of our cold frame where we took out the Swiss chard.
So what do we do on the last day of June? We plant. But look at that soil right there. This is why I haven't watered anything. And so any of the leaves that are curling or kind of droopy, yeah, there might be some bugs, but I don't think so. They're just protecting themselves from this excessive heat. The last 2 days have been pretty bad. Today's not so bad. I mean, it's 97, 98 degrees right now. It was nothing like yesterday. But look how nice that soil is. You can pack that together and it breaks right apart. There's some really nice structure going on there. I don't want to dig much more than that. We don't want to disturb the life too much. Look at the roots on that. So is it too late to plant sweet potatoes in June? We're going to find out, but I think we're going to be just fine. We should have enough time for these to put on some nice tubers before it turns to frost. And right now, everything we're going to plant going forward, we got to keep in mind the frost date. And my frost date, right here in northeastern Oklahoma, it can frost as soon as the last week of September. Hopefully it won't. And going forward, most everything we talk about will be plants that will take that first little frost with no problem. Or will produce in plenty of time, not even to worry about the frost. Unbeknownst to me, we planted cushaw melons. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to show you a little something about the deep mulch and why we don't have to water. The humidity is as high as it is right now because we had a really hard rain, and then we had an overnight rain just a couple days ago. And any of the wilty leaves, which these seem to be doing pretty good right now, is simply the plant's way of protecting itself. But let's take a look underneath this deep mulch. And I brought out a thermometer. So right here in front of this squash, which is doing just fine, let's take the mulch down. You can see just how wet that is. Now I'm going to stick this in the ground. I'll put the mulch back around it so it's got a fair shot. Then we're going to go ahead and look at these carrots. We'll be back here in a minute. But see, even in this heat, the top of the cardboard's dried out. But look at all the carrots that have germinated.
Those may be just a little too leggy. That's the challenge of planting carrots in the heat. But they do germinate very well underneath the cardboard.
Tomorrow's supposed to be a much cooler day and there's a chance of thunderstorms. So we'll see what we get there. Now we planted these in December. Look at that. I think I can get the whole thing up. And I plant kind of heavy. Well, there's another one. Here's one that broke the top off.
That's why we do it, because it tastes great. Well, hopefully we'll get those other carrots going. We'll be able to have another fine little harvest like this.
Let's take a look at our little experiment here.
And if you can see, that's actually gone down. It was much closer to 100 when I put it in the ground. So that's what the deep mulch does to the soil. It moderates the temperature, so even if it's hot outside, the roots stay nice and cool.
I know in some areas, the 1st of July means you're done planting for the year. I say we plant all year round.
Of course, our first baby cantaloupe is outside the wire, so we'll see if we get it or if a turtle gets it.
Now, if you've been following my story, you know we plant in the cold frame in December, so I continue to plant all year round. And I think tomorrow we'll talk about everything you can plant in July and still have a harvest before the frost, even in your area. So I hope you join me for that.
Our black-eyed peas are making.
And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the deep mulch, click that link right there and I'll meet you back in the garden. And if you'd like to learn about the living soil, click that link and I'll meet you right back here in the garden. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you.
Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.